Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
This is Chainsaw Man chapter 113. I want to see penguins. So last we left off, Asa, in her mission to create a weapon strong enough to defeat the Chainsaw Man for Yoru, has decided to ask Denji out on a date, so that she can turn him into a weapon at some point during the date. We open up here with Asa getting ready, and she has a hairpin going, but then she takes it out. He's like, forget the hairpin, and Yoru's like, you're so plain. Can't you add more flair or whatever? He's like, no, it's fine. He's like, you'll be able to turn that punk into a weapon if he likes you. Are you truly capable of seducing him? And she's like, too easy. Boys, it's super easy. They'll fall for anybody who show them even a fraction of a good time. And he's like, yours like, for real? And she's like, yeah, you just don't understand because you're a devil. And he's like,
I guess.
And she's like, besides, I'm pretty darn cute, so he'll be head over heels by the time we hang out for a little bit. And they go to the aquarium. They're just staring at these anemones. And there's paragraphs of text of her explaining sea life to Denji, and Denji's like, can we not talk about anemones already? Anemones. And she's like, I want to go look at the penguins. He's like, no, we're supposed to look at these for another 10 minutes. He's like, listen, I came up with the perfect plan for enjoying the aquarium. If we aren't deviating from the plan, so, chill. And Denji's like, all right. And then she starts explaining more shit about starfish and all this stuff. There's massive paragraphs of oceanic life facts. He's like, all right, I want to go see penguins already. He's like, no, the plan is to look at starfish for another 30 minutes. He's like, 30 minutes? He's like, hey, man, can we just ignore? Oh, dude, after all this, she starts going into another monologue about it. And inside her head, she's like, she's thinking about it. She's like, he should be falling for me around now. Even the aquarium employees couldn't give this good of an explanation. He's like, can we just ignore the plan and go see penguins for a minute? He's like, would you mind shutting up? We'll have fun as long as we stick to my plan. You don't need to think about a thing. And then he's like, I decided to think about my own stuff in my own way, And he goes like, I'm looking at those penguins with or without you because I've never seen a penguin before. He's like, good for you, Denji. He's grown so much.
I fucking love Denji so much.
Yeah, so she watches him go away, and Yoru's like, shouldn't you go after him? He's like, no, he's the wrong one. He interrupted my explanation and went off on his own. I didn't do anything wrong. And Yoru comes in with some heat. She's just like, could it be that you're a total bore?
She was like, what?
What'd you say?
What the fuck you said about me?
You said, dude, you not only bored that boy, but I was bored.
I was bored the entire time.
Yeah. She's like, what? You and the fucking fake chainsaw boy are bores. I studied up on ocean facts at the library for this. He's like, all right, whatever, go after him. And she's just yelling at him more. He's like, you just don't understand because you're a fucking devil. I did everything right. And that's when a familiar face pulls up. He's like, you're not wrong, Asa. And it's the girl from the Devil Hunter Club that showed up and gave Yuko her expanded abilities, I guess. And she's like, whoa, she's like, Denji's someone who doesn't know the first thing about right or wrong. You're right. But there's one thing you're wrong about. You can't turn Denji into a weapon at all. It's like, you always have to do the right thing. You can't turn a person into a weapon. And Asa's like, how do you know about my powers? He's like, did I never mention? I'm the War Devil's big sister, the Famine Devil. and she says, "Call me Fammy." uh, so that's not great. So Yoru is like, "Not good, Asa. Don't listen to that." And then she snaps her fingers, and both of them disappear. And she's like, "I took Yoru outside. Any human being should be capable of abandoning their morality when they're starving. So you aren't leaving this aquarium until you turn Denji into a weapon. See you soon." And then that's when Denji comes back. He's like, we got an emergency. This aquarium ain't that big, right? She's like, no. He's like, because no matter how far I walked down that hall, I couldn't get out. And we see just like an endless fucking hallway of this aquarium. And Denji's like, that pain in the butt's back from hell. And that's where the chapter left off. Seemingly that the Infinity Devil is also back. Or the Eternity Devil. I forget which one.
Remember
Mm-hmm.
when they was in that room for mad long? Yo, he chainsawed him in the elevator room or something like that. That shit was crazy.
So yeah, it's both the Famine and the Infinity Devil are back. So yeah, crazy. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
This chapter was so fucking funny. It was my RGC.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, it was my RGC as well.
Whoa. Yeah, it was my RGC. This was this is a unified, really good chapter for Chainsaw Man. First time, I think, at least in this new era, right? Anyway, I'm doing the drop.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Oh yeah. Go on, Josh.
Yeah. So when she was so confident talking to the War Devil about how she's gonna back up Denji, excuse me, in my mind, I was on her side because Denji was already freaked out for her just because she's a girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is interested in him. So of course, like he's gonna be down with it. But it was just, what did she say? She was like, "Boys fall for anyone who can show them a fraction of a good time." That's, I don't know about fall for them, but whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that even Denji, so she's that lame that even Denji, who all he cares about is wanting to get laid, wouldn't even care if she looked like a foot. You know what I'm saying? He would have still.
As long as she has boobs, he was interested.
Yeah. So it's the fact that even with all of that said, and by the way, I learned two things today. That there are over 2,000 species of starfish, and also that Brian knows his shit about podcast stuff. Those are two things I learned today. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate both Brian and the author of Chainsaw Man.
What is this?
For providing me with that information. Anyway, it's just the way Denji looked as she's like explaining everything. He looks worn out, like he's really trying.
Yeah,
like,
he is trying.
Remember when Oda was holding the pot boiling, like when he was boiling and holding up the samurai, and he was like, "Ooh," that's how Denji is going through it right now.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is see the penguins, and
just let the boy see the penguins.
Just let him see the penguins.
If you'd seen the penguins,
I like how he came to the conclusion. He was like, "I decided to think about stuff in my own way. Like, fuck out of here." It's it's funny because someone with more intelligence than Denji, and like I say, a regular person probably would have just stuck with it. But he has enough of a sense of independence to be able to say, "You know what? I don't care who the fuck you think you are. I want to see what I want to see."
Yeah.
And ultimately, I put that first, and I respect that about Denji. He puts his interest I don't really respect it, but it's something that's cool to see, I guess.
Yeah, he's a
You
simp.
you got to be both. It's not respectable if you're not also super considerate, at the
Yeah.
same time.
He's a simp with boundaries. Very
That's
thin
the balance
boundaries.
I want to have.
You gotta have.
I want to.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, he's a simp with boundaries. He's got
Yeah.
he's got paper thin boundaries, but man, she really had to be really bad, I guess, to break Denji's simp barrier.
She literally said like, we're supposed to do this for 10 more minutes. Like, what? Are you fucking psycho? She is. She has no idea what she was. That's why I was so thrown off in the beginning because, bitch, what are you talking about? You've never had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
What? Right? Isn't
Yeah,
that the
I think
case?
that's the thing.
No, everyone joked on her at school. Like, fuck, you a cornball. You ain't got no swag. You ain't got no game.
No.
This is Chainsaw Man you're talking to. He's been around.
He has been
I don't
around.
give a fuck about this no Starfish. I care about Starfish.
Yeah. Those are all your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Starfish are pretty cool.
Starfish are pretty cool.
Brian, what do you think about Starfish in this chapter? And
This was
also,
a-
I guess, podcast stuff if you'd like to share with the audience as well.
This is a really funny chapter. I think, is it the Infinity Devil at the end, or
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's the
Are
Infinity
we
Devil.
sure? Because so
You know
the
it's
Infinity Devil's
infinite?
working with the Famine Devil.
Yeah. Well, at the very
They
least,
just be
it's
working
there
together
because
like that?
Denji mentions that it's back. So it's not Famine because he's never faced off against Famine, I don't think. He's faced off against the Infinity Devil, who's made the hallway endless.
What an
Interesting.
annoying devil.
Yeah. I'm trying to leave a place, and it's just like the exit's further and further away from you.
So I've been walking for 45 minutes. Am
Is this Gojo? Is Gojo doing this?
am I in a dream?
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. This is a pretty fun chapter.
I couldn't even imagine that shit. That's like from Super Mario when you're running up the stairs forever.
Yeah. I guess I do want to add that moment with Denji is it's actually like a deeper moment than you think. Where he decides to just go off after Asa's like, you don't have to think
It's a
about
deeper
anything.
moment than I think?
Maybe.
Or you're saying that generally?
In generally.
Mm.
I would say it generally. I would never profess to know more than you think, Josh.
Good. Good.
So I think the interesting thing about it is that Denji just like spent so long in Chainsaw Man Part 1 with the Control Devil for so long, and now that he's just like kind of out, out of her grasp and all that stuff, he's like more independent now, and he's making choices for himself. And despite the fact
Right.
that he's not changed all that much on the outset, the one positive change that he's made in his life is that he has gained his own agency and his own sentience, and he's like he's his own person. So I appreciate that about this little moment of development, because old Denji probably would have stayed for 30 minutes and listened to her talk about Starfish forever. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, I did. But for sure, he definitely would have simped hard for her in the last season. And that's why I brought it up too. I was like, yeah, like he's grown to that point, and I guess that's why I said I respected about him. But you really broke it down much further. That was well said.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. This chapter was pretty damn good. Obviously, RGC for all three of us.
Do you think Denji could beat a higher Nomu?
Denji? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's being far stronger than Anomu.